Hey, what's good, sexy? How you doing? How are you this evening? Or morning, or afternoon, whichever time of the day or evening this is for you. Or I guess the afternoon. I hope that since my last video, if you've seen it, I hope that you're doing well. I hope that you're feeling particularly empowered today. I hope that you're feeling nice. I hope that all of the dreams that you've been having have been good dreams. And if they haven't been good dreams, I'm sorry. I hate not having good dreams. But I learned a trick. I realized for me, a way that I could kind of trick myself into having better dreams was I learned that there was a window when I was younger. I'd say maybe 15, 16, I tested this out where I would think certain thoughts in windows of the day, in time windows. So throughout my day, or not throughout my day, but like let's say I get up at 8 a.m., I would have a thought in between 3 p.m. and 5 p.m. and I would just repeat that thought. And I would test different time increments of that and then see that night where, like, if that would affect my dreaming, if the thought that I had would affect my dreaming. And I found my window for myself. In between the times of 3 p.m. and 6 p.m., if I'm headed to bed at 11 or 12 or 1 a.m., those hours solidifies ideas that I've thought about, and then I can dream about them. I think I tested it with Star Wars. I wanted to have a dream where I was involved in the Star Wars universe because I wanted to be a Force user, but I would only want to be a gray Jedi because I don't fuck with the Sith that heavy, and I don't fuck with the Jedi Order that heavy. The Jedi Order was on some fuck shit. But that's just me, personally. But I found that trick, and I thought it was really interesting as a kid growing up to that, or growing up with that. Welcome back to another ramble/yapping session with Tato the Penguin. I am feeling particularly good this evening. Before we get going, I'm gonna have some of this delicious agua purificada. Oh, it's so good. Get some water. Get comfortable, babe. We might be here for a second. In my last video, for those of you that don't know, I was very vocal about a crush that I have on a YouTuber named Pezzy, and I think he's just the bee's knees. And that video was insanely hard to do. It was such a vulnerable moment for me as a person who usually does not discuss my romantic emotions or my emotions that have to do with people that I am attracted to. I usually would not go down that path of discussion. But it was funny because right after I got done with the video and I posted it, because it'll take anywhere from 45 minutes, you know, for my videos to post, because I'm recording on my phone and then I upload them from my phone. And my throat stopped hurting immediately. My throat had started hurting the night that I was doing this video, and I shied away from saying something. I cannot remember what it was. I think it was just saying that I had a crush on this this YouTuber. And at first I was like, what is the fucking point of this video? Because I ask Spirit a lot, what is the point? And Spirit will either get back at me and say, you don't need to know the point, just do. Or sometimes I'll get an explanation. And for that, after the fact, when I meditated and I went into my spiritual palace, if you are on a spiritual journey and you have not yet done this, here is something I recommend. 4 minutes and 44 seconds, so this may be something that somebody needs to hear. That's the number on my timer as I say this. So I, being a visual person, a person who likes to visualize and imagine things in my head, excuse me, I like to create, it's essentially like a mind palace for like my spiritual work. So I'll sit down, I'll get comfortable, and I'll do some deep breathing, and then I'll focus on this location in my mind, and then I usually have an entrance to that location in my mind. So for me, it's a bedroom, because I like waking up. I love the feeling of waking up, of sitting up in the bed. And so for me, that's what I do. I get out of my bed in my spiritual palace, and then I walk around and I meet people and I talk to various individuals who are in there, whoever has messages for me. And so I don't know why I started talking about that. But I asked, I was like, hey yo, the fuck, why was I bearing my soul to, the 3 people who were watching my videos? Like, why did they need to know this? And my team spirit told me that it is a practice for me to be vulnerable. It's easy to be vulnerable with things that other people get and they are likely to talk about. So I can be vulnerable about feeling like a failure for not having a job at a certain point, or not feeling like I'm far enough along in life, because this is a common feeling that people talk about pretty publicly in podcasts, online, with their friends, even with their teachers or their next door neighbors. But not a lot of people divulge the very vulnerable act of saying they like a person, or that they have a crush on a person, let alone a person who doesn't even know they exist. And some people will like joke about that stuff, and like they have friends and they have a safe space for that. And if you do, bravo, I'm so happy for you. But I've just never been in the position where I've wanted to do that. Like, and I said it in the video, I'd always seen it as like a weakness thing, so that's not what I wanted to do. But my team said this is the whole point of these, is for you to be more comfortable being in a position where you are critiqued, where you are viewed by the public eye. Like I said, I've been in front of a camera, home videos and stuff ever since I was like 2. And when I was 2, I sang pretty well. This is so small. And in the home videos, it's crazy because I'm over here singing along to a Whitney Houston song and, in all fairness, fucking killing it. And a lot, growing up in the 90s, there was this brief period of time where the video cameras that you had to record yourself were only the family cameras, the big boys. And then phones started having cameras. Cell phones were developing. Cell phones started having cameras. So then I remember, and then actual cameras. I had like a little, what was it, a Nikon? It was a Nikon, I think it was a Nikon because it was little and it was silver. And I love that camera. I used to take pictures. I've always wanted to look at photography as a hobby, but the types of settings that are on these cameras, oh my God. My sister has I had a whole class that talked about cinematography, and the information she would come back home with, I was like, this is wild. There are that many lenses and settings that exist. It's fucking crazy. But like being in front of a camera for so long, I feel like that may have contributed to my putting on a persona or putting on a face and trying to take control over how I was perceived by self-deprecating humor, making fun of myself. And so then when serious moments cropped up, it was like, ooh, well, we're not going to actually deal with our emotions there. I hear this running joke that Aquariuses are some of the signs who don't deal with their emotions. They would prefer to talk about everybody else's. And I feel like I definitely have had a lot of that. But again, I think it's because, at least in my community growing up, talking about your emotions was not, it just wasn't something anybody did. Like, why would you do that? And then even the idea of having a therapist, why would you go tell a person who doesn't get your family, the way your family operated? I remember growing up and my dad was very big on what happens in this house stays in this house. And for years I was like, yeah, absolutely, 100%. Nobody else needs to know our private business. But now that I'm older, there's a lot of stuff that would not have happened or that would have been called to question if there had been a person who we could talk to. I was talking to my sister about this the other day. It's like growing up in a family where you're not really allowed to talk about your experience because it may embarrass or it may call into question things that your family are doing. I thought that was normal for so many years, but it's absolutely not. It's absolutely not. To be so afraid of other people's opinions or recommendations on how you're raising your children that you just never say anything to anybody. It's a bit scary, honestly. As I got older and I thought about it, like there's a difference between like telling all your family's business and seeking help when you need it and having a person who can say, no, yeah, the way that your parents handled this was not cool and you are not at fault. You are the child, they are the parent, they're supposed to be taking care of these things. So I don't know why I was moved to say that, but anybody in my comments who has a tough family situation right now or just a tough living situation and you're dealing with people who would prefer not to be critiqued, I would say to those people, I would say it's a good idea to start building a trust in yourself and to start getting into, again, journaling of some sort, talking to yourself. You would be amazed at the type of clarity that comes from getting thoughts out of your head and in front of you to where you can see them. And in a scenario or a situation where it's like, well, pretty much my whole day is, or not your whole day, but like your life is kind of dictated by the people in your household, I get the difficulty of being like, I need to get out of here, but I just can't. Because not everybody can just up and leave their situation. I think I would have to agree with people who say it's really about perception. Like, the way that I feel, like, early in the morning, going on vacation or going on a break is incredibly different than how I feel, you know, how I used to feel when I would go to work. And like I would be running on 3 hours of sleep and super fine with going on vacation. But then the minute it became something that it was a responsibility, I hated it. And it's really just a perspective shift. This is something that I've noticed a lot and that helps me is the ability to, in my mind, go into a third person view and switch the camera and be like, well, let's look at it from a different angle. Let's not focus so heavily on this thing to the point where it keeps us from being able to connect with that inner person, to hear the nudges and to feel the nudges and to get ideas that will move us out of those situations. Because the more you talk about how much your situation sucks and the more you focus on it, the more you have blinders on and you can't see a way out. 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 If you're focusing on a solution, your brain automatically is going to try to come up with that solution. I remember being a kid and I was playing Zelda Wind Waker, and it's the part at the island when you're having to pass all of the pig people, and I kept getting caught. Like I kept struggling and I was like, there's gotta be a secret to this. Help me, somebody. Like I was, you know, tiny and angry and crashing out. And I went to sleep one night and I had a dream that I was playing the video game and I figured out how to do it. Like I dreamt of a strategy I hadn't tried. And then when I went back down the next day and I did it, it worked. And I feel like that's just how the brain works. When you tell the brain, all right, we need to come up with a solution, let's just focus on the solution. Let's be open to all the possibilities. And there are no dumb, 14 minutes and 14 seconds as I say this, maybe that's important to somebody. There are no dumb solutions when you're journaling or when you're brainstorming. No dumb solutions. Just throw everything on the paper. It's like writing a book. I have written a bunch of short stories, and I'm thinking at some point of making a book of short stories. I'm not really sure the exact audience for this book because like the stories that are told are very like childlike. However, the topics and the heaviness are a bit heavier. So it's like I have a story and it's called Little Salt. And It's like a series where it's like you have this little grain of salt, and it's because back in the day, people used to call me salty. Like, I used to always have a problem with things. I was so proud of that. That was my name to fame. I also used to be very proud of saying that I was a pit bull. Like, my dad said it once, and he was like, oh, she's a fucking pit bull. She just, you know, the way she goes about things, she grabs onto something and she won't let it go. And I was like, yeah, I'm a goddamn pit bull. You heard what the big man said. Y'all heard what he fucking said. Only to realize, like, 3 nights ago, my sister was like, you are not a pit bull. And I was like, why? And she was like, because you're so, like, you're very sensitive. And I was like, well, pit bulls are sensitive. She was like, yeah, but, like, if we're talking the animal that you embody, she was like, I definitely think like a Chihuahua. And I was offended at first. I was very offended. We sleep in the same room, and I was literally about to air out the bedroom. But then I thought about it, and I was like, no, yeah, like, I definitely am anxiety leaning. I've worked on it a lot, and I don't have as much anxiety as I used to, but I definitely am anxiety leaning, and I'm such a cuddler. Like, oh my gosh. Now, for those of you that don't know, Chihuahuas were bred to be lap dogs. They were bred to be carried around. They don't really have a purpose other than to just be cute. Okay? For those of you who don't think they're cute, go with me for the sake of argument. And Chihuahuas are like any other dog. They crave discipline, attention, affection. Discipline is first, because dogs are pack animals, and they feel safe with a pack leader. Okay, for those of you who have dogs, I know some people may disagree with me on this. I have had 2 dogs, only 2. And something that I noticed is when they are trained, they are happy. They have energy. When they are not trained and they're treated like human children, meaning that you allow them to eat foods that they shouldn't be eating, or I guess I should say you treat them like children that you spoil because they can do no wrong, they become problematic. Chihuahuas in particular actually become very anxious around owners that they believe they cannot trust. And if you do not discipline your dog in any type of way, and really I should say guide, because discipline sounds like I'm constantly, but no, it's really just having rules and you enforce them. And when you do that, it builds their trust in you, and they're like, oh, this is a person that if the shit hits the wall, I trust my leader of the home to protect me, because I can understand English. I can understand what these other 2-legged bastards are talking about. My 2-legged person can do that. But then when they can't trust you, they get anxiety. And Chihuahuas, because they're so small, and they're, a lot of dogs that are like the tiny dogs, imagine being itty bitty and there is one person who is supposed to be protecting you, and you can't trust that person, and you can't do anything on your own. You can't open the door and go to the bathroom yourself, or maybe they do let themselves out. They can't go into the kitchen and serve themselves food. You are the person that they're trusting. These are domesticated animals. Now, of course, if you have, a thugga dog that's just out here running the streets all day, I'm not talking to you. That's a very different story. But dogs require guidance, and they'll feel safe around you. And so a properly guided and loved Chihuahua is one of the most precious things. Do not at me. They are so loving. They're so loving. They want to be around you. They want to do good. Like, you'll teach them tricks and they get so excited when they get it right. They're like, did I do good? Did I do good? They get so excited. But the Chihuahuas that you typically see are the little demon dogs, that people dress up in clothes because it's cute, but they don't care to make their dog feel safe around them. I mean, again, Chihuahuas are like any breed of dog. It's just that they're small. But yeah, so I say all of that in defense of the Chihuahua, because that is my canine personality type, I've been told. And I couldn't argue with it. I'm finding that there are a lot of things about my identity that, because I have my tiny coming. We know what's on my mind today. My tiny coven of ladies. I've told them they are to be honest with me. Under no circumstances are they to sugarcoat things for me or lie to my face. Because, you know, fuck niggas in the world do that already, and I'm not interested. And I enjoy being a better person every day, and I enjoy having more solid relationships than I used to. I have people around me that I can trust, and that's only happened because I have been very serious about only keeping people around me who will tell me when I am on some fuck shit, because it happens. I relapse into being controlling. I relapse into being petty. I relapse into being anxious. I relapse into creating problems for myself. Side note, this is not going to be a side note because I'm not going to remember what I'm saying, so we're taking a detour. For those of you who are dealing with coming out of your fight or flight, you're coming out of, particularly we have a lot of like, that was wild. We do. There are a lot of you in our collective who are struggling with releasing the masculine vibe, because the place that you actually want to sit in is your feminine place. Your divine feminine is where you want to sit, but you've been acting as the masculine your entire life, and you're trying to let it go. And to those of you that are doing that, I hate when my brain takes like a bloop. I just thought about how cute Pezzy was, and his face, and his nose. His nose is perfect. It's perfectly sculpted. It's so beautiful. He's so cute. He's so cute. Oh my god. I had another thought about him. No, I'm delivering a message. Releasing that identity and separating yourself from it. When you are in a position where you are wanting to be in your divine feminine, you need people around you who can tell you when you're fucking up because you're sitting squarely in your masculine energy. Now, some of you don't mind. Some of you sit in your masculine energy and you like that shit. And oh my god, is that sexy. I fucking love me divine masculine energy. And it doesn't just have to be in males. It doesn't just have to be there. I've met some women who have some amazing divine masculinity. And they have me clutching my pearls, getting all hot and bothered. That energy is just amazing to me. I love it. I love the divine masculine. If you don't know what that is, by the way, you can go look that up at some point, because I don't want to attempt to explain it and get it fucking wrong. But to me, as a person who seeks to sit in her divine feminine and is working on that, the divine masculine is the energy that makes me feel safe. It's the energy where I know if some shit pops off, you're not just gonna fucking leave me and dip. Like, you're actually gonna be like, nah, as for me and mine, I'm protecting them. Yo, in any video. Oh my god. This is hilarious. It's hilarious to me how much I'm enjoying myself in life right now. But anytime that like Pezzy's doing a video and he like leans into his mic and he's talking directly to the camera, I have to pause that shit. I have to be like, whoa, now I gotta go get some water. I gotta go take a cold shower. I gotta fucking relax, bro. I just gotta chill the fuck out, because my goodness, yet another white man has me feeling some type of way. It was funny because I came back home. I had been married for a couple of years, and I came back home and I was seasoning something, and my dad was like, the fuck is this? I was seasoning eggs. And for those of you who cook, I do not over season my eggs because I like the egg taste. I actually like fluffy restaurant style eggs. But if you know fluffy restaurant style eggs, usually they are not seasoned. That's why you have the Tabasco, the A1, the ketchup, the hot sauce. Like, you have all of that specifically to season those eggs. That's how I like to cook my eggs. It took me forever to get to it. I watched a Gordon Ramsay video on YouTube, and now my eggs are flawless. Fucking love cooking eggs. I am now actually the resident egg cooker in the family. even though they're not super seasoned, because the seasonings, for those of you that don't know, actually change how the egg cooks. You shouldn't be putting salt in your eggs until after they've cooked, because if you put the salt in there before, the chemical in the salt messes up the chemical body of the egg, and then it cooks different. I didn't know that until I looked it up. Crazy information you find on the web. But my dad was like, damn, so he didn't just colonize you, he colonized the way that you cook. And I thought that was super fucking disrespectful, but it was also funny at the time. It's still kind of funny. And I almost had my black card revoked. Because, you know, I've always, like, the existence of my black card, if you will, is something I've always questioned, because, you know, I was born in Georgia, and my dad, who is also born in Georgia, is very much so like, yeah, baby, let's fucking go. Like, he's very on it, and I get that way sometimes. But for the most part, I'm just kind of chilling. And when I'm with my Atlanta family, I do get that way, and it's so much fun. But when I'm not with them, I'm on some nerd shit. And so I'm just kind of there. The way I talk is pretty, it's pretty much this, how I talk to you guys. But I was like, damn, do I even have a black card? And my sister was like, there are so many different types of experiences for the Black community, and yours is just as valid. And I cried because I didn't feel valid. I grew up feeling so out of place. And in most places, I've felt out of place my whole life. When I tell you, when Cat Williams said that self-esteem, it's you, bitch. That's why it's called self-esteem. I have really been working on that and feeling really comfortable in my skin. And so now, being a fucking weirdo, I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying it greatly. I'm so excited for the next relationship, because he's finna get all of this. I need you all to understand me, okay? I may not make this public knowledge. I may not make who it is public knowledge, because I'm comfortable in front of a camera. But my partners historically have not been. Historically, I have partners who are like, I want to be on camera, and I'm like, baby, I respect that. I respect your want to be Mr. Anonymous. And so out of respect for my partners, I'm not putting all their business out there. But, I mean, I do like posting pictures of my partner because, again, it's the photographer in me. Like, if I see you sitting there and you're contemplative, that's the other thing I love about Pezzy. Like, he has such a beautiful contemplative face. Like, when he's just sitting there staring off in the distance. Like, again, I watch the podcasts. During the podcasts, there will be moments where it looks like there are no thoughts behind his eyes, and his eyes just be doing this. And that shit is so funny to me. I love it. I love it so much. Yeah, I need him to understand I am so ready to show him all of this weird shit, all of my favorite things, all of my special interests. I'm gonna cook him every recipe I know how to cook that I've been collecting over the years, because I'm making my own cookbook that I'm gonna pass down to my children if I have them. If I don't bear children, I may adopt. We will see. Or it may just end up being one of the many children of the people that I know, you know, because I'm an auntie, so I could just be like, listen, you can have this book because I didn't have any of my own kids. I'm passing it down to you. Keep adding recipes. There's something about it. Even though you can look recipes up online, there's something really nice about having your own recipe book. But I'm going to give him everything. He finna get all of this, bro. I know some of you who are watching this are also on your way to your person, on your way to getting it in, if you will. And I'm telling you, you and I both know, until the wheels fall off, until all kinds of things happen. I try not to get to, until the headboard breaks, baby. Like, I thought I was on one before. This is a different type of yearning. This is a different type of yearning. I know some of you are dealing with what I'm talking about, but when you step into your authentic self, right? And when you start working on your spiritual shit, true spiritual bitches, and that is anybody of any gender, they are down. We are ready. Oh, and not just for all of that, you know, not just the sex, though that's gonna be life-changing. I guarantee it. I guarantee that. But also the cuddling, the moments of talking, the moments of vulnerability. You know, I want my man to be able to, after a bad day, to come home to somebody who gets it. Somebody who, if he needs a person who's going to sit quietly and just sit with him while he's processing, I'll do that. If he needs somebody to, I love the head massages. I'm a big fan. Like, to just have him, like, seated here with his head, like, right here, and I'm just in that bitch like this. I love that shit. I love, like, the little, like, touching on your face, massaging your hands, massaging your legs and your feet and your arms for you, massaging your back. I'm very big into that shit. Ah, God, I love to love people. I love to see people feel supported and feel cared for. Fucking love that shit. And it's crazy because the version of me that got married is a version who wasn't that way. Like, I was very kind. I was empathetic, and I did my best. I was not perfect. I definitely had things to fucking work on, but I was not nearly as loving as I am now. Like, oh my gosh, my female friends, I'm hanging on these bitches. I'm kissing them on the face. I'm massaging their hands. We're close talking. I used to hate that shit. I hated being touched. I hated people in my fucking space. And now I fucking love it. I love it. When my ex and I started sleeping in separate rooms, at first I was bothered, but it's a big part of it was because the dog that we had at the time started having anxiety, and so having two rooms became kind of a necessity because I needed my sleep, and it was just a whole situation. But I was like at first bothered that I was sleeping in a bed alone, and then I wasn't, and I was like, I fucking love my personal space. I love that I can have the room exactly the way I want it. I can have my dresser is super clean. My computer looks amazing with my fucking curved computer screen. I fucking love this curved computer screen. I mean, I have to fix the resolution on every video game I play, but I love this computer screen. And like, just everything. The room was spotless all the time because I was big. I would vacuum. Like, I'm a cleaner. I'll clean shit. I want shit to be clean because I don't like bugs and I do have allergies and I love animals. So allergies be damned. I pop a couple Zyrtec and some Flonase and keep it pushing. Actually, I do the off-brand Zyrtec because you gotta do what you gotta do. But I remember being like, this is great. I have my own space. Now, I can't do that. I'm trying to share a bed. I need to share a bed because I want to be able to stick my little foot over there and feel you warm next to me. If you snoring loud, I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck. If you over there farting it up, I'll be fine. I'll figure it out. I'll crack the door and air out the room. Like, I know somebody in the comments is like, if it's real love, you'll stay in the funk. Nigga, no. No. I mean, you know, it depends on the situation. But, like, I just want to reach over and be able to touch it. Make sure. I like to, I'm very big on, like, the forehead kisses. I love them. I love the hugs, like the full body hugs. Did you know that scientifically, you should be giving your partner, for those of you who are in relationships, one of the things that can help your body is actually to kiss your partner for 6 seconds, because it actually has a world of benefits. Again, I am not an article or an encyclopedia, so you should look up the specifics for yourself. But I did read an article that talked about it, and a 6-second kiss is pretty long. And it's crazy because I used to see family members of mine, and it really helps with bonding, but I used to see family members of mine, they would just peck. They would always just peck. And I'm not saying that the pecks are bad or that they were, what's the word I want to use? The word feels like this. Indicative. Oh my God. Indicative. I love languages. I said in a video before this that I was trying to learn a bunch of different languages. I just love how languages feel. So like Japanese, I think the phrase, I can't remember what it means, but it's Anata no namae wa nan desu ka? It's a question. And I can't remember what it means. If anybody speaks Japanese, Anata no namae wa nan desu ka? What does that mean? But I love how it feels to say. I just love words and I love languages. But it's not, those kisses aren't indicative. Ooh. Goddamn. Who's the scholar? It's not indicative of an unhealthy relationship. But the 6-second kisses, the couples that I saw growing up who like had that deep kiss, and I'm not talking about tonsil hockey. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about just the, like you're locked in, like you're locked into it. It shows. It shows. I'm not big into PDA, but I am big into some type of affection. In my previous relationship, I lied and was like, oh yeah, I'm not into PDA, because he wasn't into PDA. He was like, yeah, I don't like it. I feel like it makes everybody uncomfortable. But my thing is, holding hands should be okay. Giving me a hug. For me, what I call it is, there are different types of PDA. There's PDA that you can do safely. And then there's pre-sex. And the pre-sex stuff, we don't do that in public. No, not unless we're in a situation where it's an island with willing participants, you know, all who are of age, who could consent. But I love a handhold. I love a hand on my thigh. I love a hand on your shoulder or the back of your head. I'm one of those bitches. I'll be in the passenger seat, right? I'll be in the passenger seat, and I put my arm over the seat and be massaging the back of his head. I love it. I love it so much. Love a girl season, feeling so good. Like, I'm totally okay with working on myself and just enjoying life before, you know, before this person and I meet, because I know things are gonna change. Like my sister told me, she goes, I know you're like really wanting this to happen. She's like, but you do know that once you lock it in with somebody, you're gonna move in with them, and then we're not gonna spend as much time together as we've been spending. And I was like, well, that's true, because we literally sleep in the same room. And I got sad, and I was like, no, my favorite girly pop, she's not gonna be here anymore. And then I just thought, Spirit was like, yeah, this is why you appreciate the times. Ooh, ringing in both ears. They're very much so like, yeah, like this is why you appreciate the spaces and the times that you're in, because they will change. When you are focusing on being better for yourself and moving forward in life, things are naturally going to change. And so you should enjoy where you're at. I mean, for me, I can't speak to everybody's experience, because maybe where you're at is not great. But for me, it's like, just enjoy the things that you have that you enjoy now, because those things will change. And I definitely think that's true. I think that's true. It's been hard for me to stay in the now, but I'm really working on it. Bro, my niece had me dying. My niece is, I believe, I forget how old she is. I forget how old everybody is. But she was killing me, because she was playing with this little toy, with these little magnetic cars, and they come around like the little track, this little thing, and there are all these kind of complicated buttons, and she was like working that shit out. She was like, there's a traffic jam here. Oop, gotta move the car out of the way. Oh, no, Mr. Bus, you're trying to cut people off. I was like, get him, take his ass to jail, get his ass. And she was doing all kinds of stuff with that. And then at some point, I picked up like a little toy syringe, and I was like, what's this? I thought you were a traffic controller. And she was like, oh no, I'm a doctor. And I was like, this bitch gets it. You could be anything you want to fucking be. And I was like, too right. Hit me up with that shot, fam. So she gave me a shot. And then this little girl hits me with the, when I was like, okay, so what is this? And she's like, well, this is a letter that came in the mail. And one of her little magnetic cars delivered it to me. And I was like, okay, I got this little letter. What is it? She said, it's your bill. I said, my bill for what? And she said, for your shot. I said, I didn't call her a bitch, but in my mind, I was like, bitch, what? What you mean? I said, dear Tato the Penguin, you owe us $5,000 for this shot. I said, is this some bullshit? I said, this is a shitty healthcare system. She cackled. Mind you, she's not the one who had to pay for the fucking shot. So I'm over here pissed. And then she's like, oh, here it comes, auntie. I was like, here what comes? Because I already got a bill. I'm good. I ain't paying it. And she's like, okay, so here comes a taxi. I was like, oh, sweet. Like, here's a taxi to take me home because I ain't got a ride back from the hospital and I'm not paying for an Uber with the bill I was just slapped with. And she says, the taxi's here. He has a letter for you. I'm like, what is this? What is this? So the bus driver is a mailman and the taxi driver is also a mailman? Like, I'm mad about the bill, but also, yo, in her world, everybody can have 3 or 4 different occupations. They could be everything. You could be an astronaut, a mermaid, a ballerina, and a sous chef. And she said, I said, what's this? She said, it's your second bill. $10,000 for a shot? Hell no. You got me fucked up. You got me all the fucking way up. She just got, she thought that shit was so funny. So funny. I told her, I was like, I don't know what kind of establishment you're running here, but I feel gypped. But then luckily she gave me a job and I became her secretary. And then all the rest of the family came inside and she started giving them shots. And I started printing out those bills, something fierce. I made sure everybody got hit with a bill. But then we had this thing where she was like, well, we have to make sure they sign in. I was like, yeah, they fun to sign in. They fun to sign in. And actually, when they sign in, there's going to be a paper on top of the sign-in sheet because it's actually not a thing to sign in. It's an NDA. And it's all kinds of other acronym papers. So people can't talk shit about your hospital. See, as soon as I was on the come up, I was like, fuck them other niggas coming behind me. It's all about getting that green, baby. And then I asked her what her name, they were like, oh, thank you. Like, they're getting shots. They getting these bills from the bus driver, from the taxi driver, from what was the other car? From the ambulance. The ambulance was also delivering these bills. And somebody said, well, what's the name of your hospital? And she goes, Derek? And I was like, Derek? And she's like, yeah. And my sister goes, Derek General sounds like a dope-ass hospital. I fucking love kids. They're so fucking funny. And I was like, hey, yo, we gotta put some stamps on the top of all our papers. Derek General, baby. It was hilarious. It was a good night. I thoroughly enjoyed Christmas with my nieces. I fucking love those kids. They are having to go through the process of getting diagnosed. And what makes me super happy is that my sister, their mama, is very serious about figuring out what's going on with them so that she can be the best mom that she can be. Shout out to all the moms who are watching my video right now. Shout out to y'all. If you feel like you're not doing a good job, again, my advice is just that. I have no children, so I don't have a lot of room to speak on this topic. But I would say if you have kids who are excited to see you, like you have adult kids that call you, like they're really excited to talk to you, I think that's how you know you did a good job. My dad said something, he was like, you don't really know if you did good in parenting until they become adults. Because them in adulthood is gonna let you know whether or not they felt like they were cared for or they felt like you prioritized them. And for those of you who may be experiencing being ghosted by your adult offspring, either go to therapy or start journaling or something. Because I know some people are just fucking assholes, but a lot of the people I know who have gone no contact with their parents is because their parents don't respect them. They don't listen to the boundaries that their adult offspring set, and they just kind of do what the fuck ever they want. And at that point, if you're not listening and I set a boundary, the natural conclusion of this relationship is I'm gonna have to stop dealing with you in order to protect my peace, because I can't force you to do anything different. If I can't do that, 44 minutes and 44 seconds as I'm saying this, I can't force people to be different. The only thing I can do is set a fucking boundary and be like, hey, yo, if you don't respect it, I'm out. Like Berlin says, if your back not a wreck, you don't get no respect. I love him. He's so funny. Berlin be having me dying. Bro, go look up Berleezy, okay? Berleezy, Berleezy, because I'm not going to remember to put this in the description. And go look up him playing a game series called The Poop Killer. You heard me correctly. Go watch that shit. That is my type of comedy. If anybody in here is wondering, Jim Carrey's The Grinch That Stole Christmas live action, that whole movie is my brand of comedy. I love the scene where he is in there talking to himself. He's like, how are you? It's like, how are you? I asked you first. And he's talking to himself. And then he's like, I'm an idiot. And the echo goes, you're an idiot, bro. That shit fucking killed me. Oh my gosh. Again, favorite thing to do is laugh. Ha 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 ha. I'm just a giggly girl. I just love to laugh. My man coming. He gonna be funny. He's gonna be like, ha ha ha. Bitch, where your clothes at? I'm gonna be like, I don't need clothes for where we going. Ferral. Just Ferral. Feral as fuck. But we are out here, doing our morning meditations and our daily devotions, keeping the peace, if you will. But yeah, man, I'm just having a good time in life right now. It's funny because I'll have days where I'm not led to do an oracle reading. I'm not led to do anything, and one of my biggest cycles that I have to break is that I tend to then find work for myself to do instead of just relaxing. A lot of y'all, you have an inner gladiator that's been protecting you your whole fucking life, and the minute you get into a peaceful situation, your inner gladiator is fucking it up for you because she or he or they don't know how to take a seat because they've always had to be on. They've always had to have the shield, the spear, the sword, the scythe, the keyblade. They've always had to have that stuff up and ready. I just thought about the opening theme of Halo, and I had to take a minute because that shit is so beautiful. Oh, what is it? Is it Metal Gear Solid 5? Whichever Metal Gear it was that had quiet in it, which, oh my god, to that character, the character's clothes and everything, and then the reason why she didn't wear clothes, that shit was bullshit. If you want to make a sexy lady, just say you want to make a sexy lady, Jesus. But the song where she hits the ha 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 ha, words that kill, would you speak to me, na 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 na, it makes you believe in the Father's eyes. I'm alive. That lady sang the shit out of that song. Every time I hear it, I cry. I can't listen to movie score songs in the car because I start getting teary-eyed, and niggas already be driving crazy here in Florida, and I just be in the front seat like, oh my god, it's so fucking beautiful. I'm about to cry. Yes, get it. And then I'm about to kill us all. So, it's a whole situation. I'll be watching myself when I do these videos because I'll be like, damn. Hello, collarbones. I fucking love my collarbones. Shit. Find something about yourself, my love. Cutie. Find something about yourself. And compliment it, love on it, whatever that thing happens to be. Right? And just worship yourself. Love on yourself. I love my collarbones. I like my eyes. I really like my eyes. They're really big. I like that. Can't see shit out of them, but I like them. I've grown to like a lot about my face. I actually don't use as many filters as I used to when I send Snapchat videos to my best friend. I love it. Well, I think I've yapped as long as I need to yap. I appreciate you all being here with me. Again, to the people who are subscribed and you're watching my videos, thank you for being here. I hope, excuse me, hope you get something out of this whole experience. And if you do get something out of this, I would love to see in the comments what out of these videos has done something for you in some way. I have no idea what the fuck that was, but I hope it does something for you. Again, liking is always nice. I like to see likes because it means people are enjoying it. Hell, I like to see dislikes because it means I got on somebody's nerves. Like, excellent. You got irritated watching my video? I made you feel that way? Fuck. Shit. Ew. But yeah, I like to hear from you guys. And again, I've had a couple people reach out to me and tell me that my videos really helped them. And so to those of you who've reached out, you know who you are. Mwah. I love you. Thank you so much for spending time with me in the evenings. I don't know what week we're on, but I really like doing these videos. And I have no idea if the format's going to change. I really don't. Again, I know it's all about authenticity, but I really don't know, like, if this is just like, like at some point the videos are going to switch and I'm going to have a different wig on, because I have a person who's willing to sponsor some wigs for me. I'm so excited. It's my bestie. My bestie watches all my videos and she's like, I want to see you in different wigs because you're so beautiful and amazing. You're beautiful and amazing. So she said, she was like, what type of wigs do you want? I was like, oh shit. I may have wigs in the future. Wigs on wigs on wigs. And then maybe get a different, like, kind of cosplay thing to set up so that I can anyways, so that I can wear something different. Ooh, it's hot in here. That's what happened. I brought all my horniness into this closet and now it's so hot. The closet's small. But anyways, much love to you guys. I send through this tiny phone and camera blessings on you and your journey. I praise you in your journey. May you feel loved. May you feel blessed. May you feel protected. May you feel deserving. May you feel cared for. And at some point, if you so desire, may your back be broken out. May it be blown out. May you get it. May you get the very thing that you so desire. Until the wheels fall off. May that happen for you. I want that for you. I really do. I want that for you. Yeah. Okay, that's all I got. I love you guys. I'll talk to you later. Bye.